The Las Vegas Raiders have just about as many questions as everybody else. Well, actually, let's rephrase that. They have a lot less questions than some of the worst teams in the NFL, and they probably have about the same questions as some of the best teams, because let's face it, the Las Vegas Raiders, I think this team is finally ready. I think it's got the right coaching staff. I think it's got the right pieces in place to be able to make a deep run, and I can't be more excited and get past the wild card round against the Cincinnati Bengals, who, by the way, are also going to be pretty dangerous this year as well. Now, in terms of questions, we have a lot to consider in terms of everything that is going to go on with the Raiders this year. They got, like I said, they've got their questions. So what are they? So to us, these are the top questions facing the Las Vegas Raiders before we head into training camp. And there's a lot of things that are going to go on here and that need to be considered. Now, question number one is the offensive line. I don't think we can debate that. I think at the end of the day, the offensive line is clearly the biggest thing that we all have questions about. And I think that honestly, it's at the center or center/guard position. And I got to be honest here. I think, you got to start, in my mind, you got to start Dylan Parham at some center, like whether it's center, guard, whatever it is. But they have to start Dylan Parham. Like, it just, as a Vikings fan and as watching the Raiders over the last couple of years as a Raiders fan, I really feel like they are in a spot where they really need to shore up this offensive line. I don't care how you do it. Put in Dylan Parham. Just make it happen. Please, God, do not let don't let Andre James just walk away with the starting position. Have a competition. Let everybody compete for their spots. Colton Miller, again, I've said it ad nauseum, in my mind, is one of the only guys that I trust wholeheartedly. Denzel Good, I've liked what I've seen, but overall, I stick with Colton Miller and what I've seen, because he has proven time and time again to be that starting left tackle that you've wanted, to be your guy. So I'm really excited about this offensive line. I think it's got the potential to be something special, but the key of it is getting in guys to compete and do a lot of different things for you. And I think question number two, defensive line. How is the defensive line going to mesh in terms of, okay, we know this defensive line can be dominant. How dominant? That's the big question here. I think if you take a look here specifically at some of these guys, obviously you got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. Now, of course, this is out of a 4-3, not out of a 3-4, because we're just keeping it generic for now at all the different things they can do. But this defensive line has the potential to be one of the best in the NFL with all the different weapons you have there. You've got, obviously, we talked about it, Max Crosby and Chandler Jones on the outsides. On the inside, I think a ton of people are sleeping on the ability of this Las Vegas Raiders interior defensive line. Again, Jonathan Hankins is coming back. Balal Nichols coming over from the Chicago Bears. I think he had a handful of sacks last year. I think that's just what the Raiders ordered in terms of having that interior pressure. Also, they drafted Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler in the 4th and 5th rounds, respectively. I'm really excited about the future of those two. Also, you got Tyler Lancaster. Cleveland Farrell honestly could play defensive tackle, a little bit of end, wherever you want him. So this defensive line, I think, has the potential to do a lot of special things. And again, but at the end of the day, it really does come down to how do they mesh? How do they work together as a team? Everybody do your job. It is that simple. I can tell you that as long as everybody does their job, does what they're supposed to do, the sky's the limit for this defensive line. Again, I think you've got two of the best, arguably the best edge rushing duo in the entire NFL. And then if you can get a little bit of pressure up the middle, I think good things can happen for your squad. So, like I said, I'm excited about it. But I think that kind of, there's some optimism, but we need to see how well this defensive line meshes together. Question number 3, who will be the team's wide receiver number 3? Notice how I didn't even put anybody here, because literally no pictures, because there is no telling who could be that guy that comes up and really does step up for the Raiders as that number 3 wide receiver. Now, obviously, they've got a lot of different weapons, like we've talked about it ad nauseum. Josh Jacobs at running back, Darren Waller, Foster Moreau could be in for a big year at that tight end position as well. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. After that, the question is, who will step up? You got Demarcus Robinson, Keelan Cole, Tyrone Johnson. I'm encouraged by what I've seen out of him as well. Justin Hall's another guy to watch out for. Jordan Veazey, DJ Turner. These guys, there's a lot of names out here, but the question is, who will separate themselves as that number 3 wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders? I think it comes down to, you got to find a way to compete. Obviously, Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow are going to get the vast majority of the lion's share of the passes thrown their way. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is going to get the ball a lot as well. Zamir White, another name to watch out for, by the way, as well as Kenyon Drake and all that. Like, really interesting to see how the running back room shapes up. But as we get back to the wide receiver 3 position battle group here, I think it's going to be really interesting. Who will be that number 3 guy that will take the top off the defense? That will be that Swiss Army knife for this Las Vegas Raiders defense, or excuse me, offense. I'm really excited about it. Question number 4, who will step up at corner? Don't get me wrong. I love Trayvon Mullen Jr. just as much as the next guy. I'm really excited. If he can play up to his potential, oh, it could be amazing. It could be absolutely amazing. I think he could be a shutdown corner, no question. His length, his speed, all the different things he brings to that defense for the Raiders, it's so exciting. On the flip side of that, if he doesn't, who can step up in his place? I think Nate Hobbs, who was easily one of the best shutdown nickel corners in the entire league last year, he could be a name to watch. He could probably, I know he could play outside. Also, on the other side of there, you got Rock Ya-Sin, Anthony Averett, all those guys, Darius Phillips, all those guys coming in to play corner. Listen, at the end of the day, if Trayvon Mullen Jr. steps up the way he can, the question is, how will Rock Ya-Sin play? This is a very young secondary. It's got, Trayvon Morg, all those guys, Nate Hobbs, we've touched on him, Jonathan Abram. It's got a lot of young, unproven guys. Trayvon Morgan, not Nate Hobbs, by the way. Those two are studs. But after that, Trayvon Mullen, Rock Ya-Sin, if he can kind of find a little bit of a change of scenery, I think that's going to be very big for him. So, but I think that is honestly going to be a big question. Obviously you've got all these different pieces that you're taking a look at in terms of this defense. But arguably the most important are the defensive line and the corner group. How and who will step up at the cornerback position for the Las Vegas Raiders? But that's it. Those are our biggest questions. I think facing the Las Vegas Raiders. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. Let us know what you guys think about the top questions facing the Las Vegas Raiders before training camp.